Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 33rd annual and first ever virtual tribute to women. I'm Cerise Cole, morning news anchor at KMTV 3 News Now, and thank you so much for taking time out of your hectic schedule to recognize the work being done by those right here in our community. And let me be the first to say congratulations to the 2020 honorees. Today, 9 incredible women will be recognized for their outstanding contributions to our community through their professional and volunteer service. We'll also have the opportunity to be reminded about the critical work the WCA is doing day in and day out, and why they are such an important support for our community in so many ways. Each year, the WCA receives countless nominations of women in our community doing amazing work to improve the lives of those living in our community. This year, Jamila Parker, a 2019 Tribute to Women honoree herself, led the charge of the volunteer selection committee to find the most deserving candidates to honor. She was joined in this effort by Sarah Freeland, Corey Garlock, Jamie Gutierrez, Jill McClure, and Heather Reynolds. Thank you all so much for your hard work. To continue recognizing outstanding leadership in our community, I'd like to ask you to help me recognize our 2020 Tribute to Women honoree chair, Karen Garacki. Now, Karen is no stranger to this event, having been recognized as an honoree in 2018. So Karen, thank you so much for your leadership and support. Today's event would not be a success without you. Now, at this time, I'd like to introduce Denise Powell. Denise is partner at Alley Pointer Maquetto Architecture. Denise also serves as the 2020 chair of the WCA Board of Directors. Denise?
Thank you, Cerise. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today in support of the WCA and this year's remarkable honorees. I'm Denise Powell, and as Cerise mentioned, I have the pleasure of serving as the chair of the WCA Board of Directors. For over a century, the WCA has been providing life-changing and life-saving services for people in this community. Yet it was only 46 years ago that the organization expanded its mission to include support for survivors of domestic assault and sexual violence. It was only in the last 5 years that the organization expanded its mission to include survivors of human trafficking. For more than 100 years, this organization has been evolving to meet the changing needs of our city and the communities we serve. We are still evolving today, and even through moments of conflict and growth, we keep our eyes on our North Star, the thousands of clients we serve each year. On behalf of the WCA Board, I want to thank our brave and dedicated team members who do this work every day. It's not easy, and a global pandemic has made it even harder. But through it all, they persevere, put our clients first, and just as importantly, hold our organization to the highest standards. You have our gratitude. The work of the WCA, while heavy and difficult, is infused with an undercurrent of optimism in a closely held belief that tomorrow can be better than today. The women we are recognizing today believe that too. In their work, we find hope and courage, tenacity and perseverance, and at the core of it all, love. As a former tribute honoree myself, I can't tell you what an honor it is to share a list with these women. Sarah, Barb, Samantha, Victoria, Carolina, Jenny, Ashley, Carmen, and the incomparable Miss CT. Thank you for your dedication to making this world a better, more equitable, safer, and healthier place. It is our honor to recognize you today. For many of us, dare I say most of us, the world is a heavy place right now. But like Mr. Rogers always reminded us, look for the helpers. Today, we're doing just that as we celebrate these amazing women and their work. I would be remiss if I didn't thank a few important audience members today. We are so grateful to our wonderful sponsors who made this event a success. Thank you for your support. You can find a full list of sponsors on our website, WCAOmaha.org. I would like to take a minute to thank some of our high-level sponsors, the Lozier Foundation, Union Pacific, Valmont, Susan and Mike Labens, and CHI Health Center. Their support of today's event allows us to celebrate the contributions of our 2020 honorees while raising important funds for the WCA's critical programs and services. Again, we thank you. Also, on behalf of the board, I'd like to thank our wonderful and passionate Partners Guild, as well as all of our volunteers who contribute their time, talent, and treasure to furthering the WCA's mission all throughout the year. I'd like to extend our sincere appreciation to the fabulous Cerise Cole, who is serving as the MC for this program for the 3rd year in a row. We're big fans, and we're so grateful for her willingness to act as our MC. Thank you, Cerise. And now it is my pleasure to pass the baton to our wonderful interim CEO, Jeanette Taylor.
Thank you, Denise. The Women's Center for Advancement saves hundreds of lives each year. It is truly the go-to place for any person experiencing domestic violence, sexual assault, or stalking and human trafficking. In 2019 alone, we served more than 9,000 through our phone calls that came in through our hotline, which operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Advocates met with 543 clients at area hospitals, and we served 4,783 individuals. All of the services provided to victims are free and confidential. Thank you for being here today to support these amazing women being honored and for supporting the WCA. Please support the victims and their children with donations and/or volunteering so that no one has to walk this path alone. I would like to introduce our guest speaker, Caprice Hollis. Caprice is a WCA client care specialist. She started with the WCA in September of 2019 as an intern and transitioned into full-time employment in April of this year. Caprice will be reading a letter that has been written from her mother, Martha Hollis, and she'll share statements from herself and her niece, Ayana. In April of 2018, the Hollis family received some devastating news regarding their oldest, Kamisha Hollis. After an 18-year toxic relationship, it was found that Kamisha's life had ended. It has been 941 days since Kamisha went missing, and her trial is still pending. The Hollis family has not given up hope. They can continue to talk about their story about domestic violence because it is so real and it can happen to any of us. Caprice, I want to thank you for being a part of the WCA and thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Jeanette, for introducing me. I am honored to have been asked to talk at this year's Tribute to Women. This is my first time actually seeing the event and being a part of it since I am a new employee. So I'm very thankful to be here. I won't talk too much about myself since I was already introduced, but I do want to let everyone know that as a newer employee, I am absolutely amazed at what WCA does do and has done and the lives they have changed. Some of the people that have walked through these doors with broken spirits have walked out with hearts full of love and hope. And I just hope that everyone continues supporting the WCA on their journey to supporting the community. So with that being said, I will begin to read the letter that our mom wrote about my sister. To begin, I am honored to be able to speak about my firstborn and oldest daughter, Kamisha Hollis. Kamisha would have been 37 this past May, and not a day goes by where her presence around me isn't strong. Perhaps we all know a Kamisha in our lives, someone strong but timid, fierce but shy, and happy although endangered or afraid. Someone who was practically living through their own hell, yet gets out of bed each and every single day determined to make it a great one. Kamisha was and is such a light in my life, and from the day she was born, I knew she would make a difference. I wasn't sure in which way, but I knew she would. Unfortunately, she is not here with us to be able to tell her story, although it is a story worth telling over and over again, so I will do my best. I want to begin by telling you all where my beautiful daughter is now. She unfortunately went missing April 2nd, 2018, and was declared deceased shortly afterwards. Some of you may know, but to those who do not, my daughter's disappearance later turned death is being investigated as a homicide. She was in a long-term relationship, 18 years to be exact, and that relationship, while lengthy, was everything but safe, romantic, enjoyable, and fun. But somehow she still stuck through it all. I miss my daughter every single day, but I am a firm believer in my faith, and I know she is here with me. I would rather her be here in her physical form, but I know that my daughter's spirit is around me and within her daughters. She is at peace, finally. Kamisha has 3 beautiful daughters who have all taken personality traits and talents from their mom. Before she went missing, she was an attentive and involved mother, an avid gym goer. She loved to laugh and very much so loved her family. Kamisha had never had much confidence growing up. She fretted over the things most of us suffer through, such as acne and bad hairstyles. As she grew into adulthood, that confidence still never thrived into the capacity I knew it could. She had difficulty standing up for herself in her relationship and was often put down. She began to believe the bad things that were said to her. But regardless of how she felt about herself, you would swear she was the most beautiful person on earth. Her heart was so open, and she could not display hate for anyone or anything in the world. Given the terrible circumstances that were exposed to the community on April 2nd in 2018, no one would have ever thought she was living the life she was. She wore a grand smile every single day, and she loved life, even though what she experienced behind her own home's closed doors were nothing close to ideal. I know that my daughter struggled for a while through majority of her relationship. It wasn't fair that something could happen to someone so giving and so bright. It is never fair when it happens to anyone. When Kamisha first disappeared, we had a huge community of strangers that rallied around us and actually helped us create search parties, and they also helped create a safe space for her daughters. Initially, the girls were afraid that their dad, Kamisha's ex, and the person who was charged with her disappearance/murder were going to come find them and that they would end up in similar circumstances like their mom. These girls have been through so much. At the time of the disappearance, they were 10, 8, and 6 years old. They still do not understand. They are hurting, and every single day we have conversations about their mom coming back. We all know it is not possible, but that still doesn't stop every Christmas or birthday list from having the words, "I don't want any presents except my mom to come back. Please, God, give her back." As the girls' grandmother, I am doing my best to keep them strong. I am doing my best to be strong. There are days when I am weak. There are days when I sit back and think about my daughter living from age 17 to 34 in pure agony. I sit back and I want to cry at the thought that my daughter felt trapped. But there are good days and there are bad ones. It has been 942 days since I have seen or talked to my daughter. We were last all together as family Easter Sunday in 2018. My last recall of her was that she was tired, mentally and physically. She was done. She was ready to move on with her kids and enjoy a happy, safe, and well-deserved life. Her wanting those changes, unfortunately, did cost her a life. As they say, the most dangerous time for a domestic violence victim is when they are trying to leave. She did try. She gained her confidence and bravery, and she tried with her last breath. Although things did not turn out the way I would have liked, I will never fault my daughter for trying to leave an abusive relationship. I will always see her as brave. We are still waiting for her justice as we go on 2 years, still awaiting trial. We as her family are being patient, however, because we believe that what was done in the dark will come to the light. In short, I have met so many amazing people through the last 2 years on this journey of looking for and seeking justice for my daughter. She has so many people that love her and that are paying attention to her story. And I want everyone to pay attention to their loved ones, especially if they have a Kamisha in their lives. Just love everyone as hard as you can because life is not promised. We are all living in a borrowed shell. Hug, love, and talk to one another as if it is your last day because we honestly never know what are in the cards for us. I love my daughter and I love you all on the receiving end of this letter. Please take care of yourselves, and when you can, please remember my daughter and share her story, as maybe she can one day give someone else the confidence to safely and successfully leave their abusive partner. Thank you. And I do have just some short words from my oldest niece, Kamisha's oldest daughter, who wanted to share. And she has been heavily influenced by her mom in everything she does in her everyday life. And so she wanted me to share this with all of you. So sorry. So she says, when I was 10 years old, my mom was taken from me. I saw my mom go through a lot, but she was always so strong. I could tell when things were bothering her, but she wanted me not to worry about anything and told me it was okay. My mom was always a hardworking woman. She had to work 2 jobs to take care of me and my sisters. When she did have free time, she would play with us and we would have fun, but she would often have to go back to work. She tried her best to balance her work life and her personal life, but it was hard. I miss her so much. She was also super smart. Now that I'm becoming a teenager, there are so many things she will miss out on in my life, but I will do my best to make her proud. She always told me to do my best in life and that I can succeed in anything that I want to. My mom went to college even while working 2 jobs, and that has encouraged me to go to college when I graduate. I want to become a lawyer and defend innocent people like my mom so families can get their justice in peace. Thank you.
Caprice, thank you so much for sharing Kamisha's story with us today. Your family's love and advocacy in the face of tragedy is so powerful. Advocating for someone suffering from domestic or sexual violence is critical. So often, this support helps open doors that lead to safety and self-empowerment. Domestic violence can be quite literally a life or death situation. That is why the services of the WCA are so important. From developing safety plans that get someone out of an unsafe home situation, to providing training and support that build self-sufficiency. These services save the lives of thousands of people in our community, and you can help. On behalf of the WCA, I'd like to ask you to further support our mission through an additional donation today. We'll make it really easy for you. We have several ways for you to make that life-saving gift. You can click the link in the chat to donate. You can scan the QR code to donate. You can text TTW 2020, it's a tribute to women 2020, TTW 2020 to 202-858-1233. Or you can visit our website right now at WCAOmaha.org and click the donate now on the menu icon on the top right of the page. While you're making your donation, consider designating a gift in recognition of one of our fabulous Tribute to Women honorees or a loved one. And know that your donation will go toward operating costs and services of the WCA, which are desperately needed in our community and always free to clients. Please help us continue to meet the growing needs of the WCA services as we help those affected by domestic violence and sexual assault achieve safe and self-determined lives. Thank you again for your generous support of the WCA and its mission. Please know that your gift today is truly making a difference in the lives of our clients. Thank you.
Denise, thank you so much. And thanks to all of you for supporting the WCA. And now for the highlight of today's gathering. We will play a video to learn more about the 2020 Tribute to Women honorees.
I am Karen Garacki, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Honorary Chair of Tribute to Women, as well as having been honored in 2018. I have been a longtime supporter of WCA. I have witnessed the passion and determination of the organization and the staff to follow their mission of assisting victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, human trafficking, and stalking to stay safe and grow strong. No other organization in our community is so uniquely and purposefully serving the victims of these crimes. The work happening at the WCA is critical to the safety of countless women, men, and children who are victims of these crimes, as well as our entire community. Today we gather not only to support the vital work being done by the WCA, but also to celebrate and honor 9 exceptional women whose unique contributions to our community inspire us. As October comes to an end, we want to acknowledge October being Domestic Violence Awareness Month. This year, the WCA chose #ChangeHappensHere, and I believe the WCA is committed to change within, and most importantly, changing lives every day with the official work being done here. These 9 women have created change in each of their own lives, and I am happy to recognize their accomplishments in being change makers in Omaha. You can be a change maker too by supporting the WCA. Together, we can assist victims to lead empowered lives and to help facilitate the changes to make ending violence happen in all communities.
My name is Carolyn T. Williamson. The T stands for terrific, and that's what I tell everybody. I grew up in that world when women were secretaries, and this world, men can be secretaries. You know, it's like I'm on a lot of boards, and a lot of times when they want to say, who wants to take notes? I'm not the one. Have Joe or Sam or somebody do that. I wholeheartedly believe in equality in everything now. I was 8 when Mom died. Because of the responsibilities that I took on, I wasn't your average 9-year-old, 10-year-old, or, it was hard going to school and somebody trying to tell me what to do, because I was always busy telling my little sisters and brothers what to do. I've been at Girls Inc. over 20 years. Our mission statement is inspiring girls to be strong, smart, and bold. And that fit me as a child, being strong, smart, and bold. And that's to step outside the box, to do something different, something unusual. Having went through the riots as a youngster here in Omaha, it hurts my heart to realize 50 years later, we're out doing the same thing, but I see progress. I see where women are standing strong and fighting for what they believe in. We are really gonna make a difference in this world. We are really gonna make a difference. And I think the world is gonna be a better place because of it.
My name is Sarah Boyd, and I'm the CEO of VitaNix, which is a social enterprise that protects the digital evidence of survivors of sexual assault, abuse, and neglect. I've always had an interest in social impact and social impact at scale, and I think there is a huge gap in the sector around how leading edge technology can help us make better social progress. So it was really important to me to lead a company that was on the forefront of technology, trying to address a real social problem that we have as a society. I like to lead with a sense of fun and a sense of compassion, but there's some balance there. I think in society still, leading with compassion can be conflated with being soft. So I think there's a balance in how you show up that shows the strength of conviction, but also your willingness to be vulnerable and to have humility, and how you go about leading in that, and giving a space for people to be their best selves and to be able to own their uniqueness. So one of my favorite conversations with candidates, beyond understanding if they have a shared purpose, which I think is first and foremost really important to a team, is having that sense of shared purpose and identity, is also understanding what their quirkiest trait is. Helping them find something within themselves to say, tell me a little bit more about who you are, that doesn't necessarily show the polish that we might put on for each other. Because I think that's where we really get to the personal relationships that make teams thrive when things are tough. As a woman thinking about the work the WCA does, very important in order to continue to pay it forward for other women to have the kinds of access to the potential that they occupy in this universe, because women are amazing. And there are many stories that are so enriching to think about, especially those women who have overcome the adversity that the women that are visiting the WCA have in their life. It's inspiring. And those are the kinds of women that really give me strength, truly energizing and understanding the resiliency of the human spirit and the resiliency of these women.
My name is Carolina Padilla, and I am the Executive Director at Intercultural Senior Center. I just feel an attachment, I guess, when I talk to a person my age. I just feel I feel connected. It's in my heart, I guess, to serve the aging art community. I feel lucky in my life. I had met amazing women, and they have opened their heart and their arms to help me out every time I ask for help, and has taught me that to be successful, you have to fail too. Nothing comes perfect. I think that the freedom that this country offers gives the opportunity to have voices and express what is that we like, we don't like, what we want or what we don't want. And we can make decisions based on what is the future that we want for ourselves. I grew up in a small town and I attended Catholic schools, and I was around nuns for my first years of school. And I think every person there always encouraged me to be better every day, but not just about myself, but give to others. That's what I was taught. And I just keep that in my mind always.
My name's Jenny Schukert. I do business development at Olson. We are a full service engineering firm. You know, I thought I knew what I didn't know. And I've always been a very open-minded individual, but when I got involved in Big Brothers Big Sisters, my mentee, Nisha, who I still talk to this day, I just was exposed to a completely different childhood and growing up, and her mother had her older sister when she was 14. I think seeing and being exposed to the challenges of poverty firsthand was really eye-opening for me. Yeah, and since then that's kind of where I started delving into different community organizations and trying to understand the big picture and how I can help. I believe that girls can do anything, and a lot of it's just if you don't see it, then you can't be it. And so that's kind of where my passion comes into my involvement with Girls Inc. and the STEM programming and making sure that young girls that may have no idea what a career in engineering could even look like are exposed at a young age and can explore and decide if that's something they want to pursue. In an ideal world, you wouldn't need Girls Inc. and the WCA. Everybody deserves a good life, a good quality life. And I know that the situation is that that's not the case for everyone. And so organizations like WCA and Girls Inc. really help people create better lives for themselves. It's only fair. I think that the programming that happens at Girls Inc. helps girls become independent women in situations where they necessarily wouldn't without the program. And then this WCA, I cannot imagine, I can't put myself in a woman's shoes that's coming to this facility for help, but I believe that they deserve help and support.
I'm Ashley Spivey. I'm a philanthropist, community activist, mom, partner, business owner. I Be Black Girl came up really organically. Again, I'm a community organizer, a builder, and so I traditionally work in very white dominant spaces, and it's exhausting. And I was just tired one day, and I posted on my social media hey, Black women, who wants to go get brunch and have a little kiki and just rejuvenate? And I thought okay, 6 women would come and we'll go to matcha or something, have something real cute. And it ended up being nearly 100 women that came. We had a DJ, a catered brunch. We utilized all Black women-owned businesses for that event, and it felt like that there was a there, that how I was feeling, other Black women were feeling as well, and that we could really create something to pour back into us. There's not a lot of money. There's a great report that was put out by the Ms. Foundation called Pocket Change, and it talked about how underfunded women and girl work of color is. And so then when you divide that out then by the different segments of people of color, it's even smaller. And so, it's just the reality of doing this work. It's super important, it's super urgent, yet we don't have the resources needed to make the impact. And so I'm hopeful that maybe there will be a pivot and folks can engage differently with the awareness and kind of public campaigns that are happening. But I also know it shouldn't take viral acts of violence against Black bodies to make people say racism exists, right? And so there's a lot that we have to reconcile as a community and as a society around that. I've been super fortunate, especially in my adult life, to have amazing, brilliant Black women that pour into me, to my vision, that cultivate me, that extend their power and privilege to elevate the work that I'm doing. I think it's super important. Everyone has a responsibility to bring people along and create space, especially in the environments in which they have power and influence. And so I don't think I would be as successful, as I am today if I didn't have that support.
My name is Victoria Mejias, and I'm the program director for Heartland United for Puerto Rico. We're an all-volunteer-based organization that helps disaster victims who have escaped Puerto Rico. I was born in New York, but my parents were born in Puerto Rico, and so we went there for summers. I always knew it was part of the United States, and very proud of our heritage. But unfortunately, there's just this huge disconnect, and I've always heard that Puerto Ricans are treated like second-class citizens. I heard that my whole life, but I actually saw it play out before my very eyes a few years ago when Hurricane Maria hit, and you had U.S. citizens being denied services. And so when we first had dozens of families coming over from the island to Nebraska, and we're just making phone calls, what kind of relocation package or wraparound services do you have for these individuals and families who are coming with nothing? They lost it all. And they would say, well, we can't help them. They don't qualify for refugee status. They're U.S. citizens. And so the fact that they were citizens actually counted against them. The same with agencies we would call here in the state of Nebraska and say, how are you going to help them acclimate themselves here now that they're calling Nebraska home? And they would say, we can't help them. They're not Nebraska residents. And so they were just kind of falling into this huge gap in services. And that's where our volunteers really rallied to come together to incorporate our organization. My grandmother, who's my biggest hero, she's like 4'9" and 100 pounds soaking wet. She's a domestic violence survivor. And so that's been a huge, a staunch cause of mine. And so I do refer women here quite often. I know what it is to hold the hand of someone who is just desperate and feels like they're mentally incapable of leaving their situation. They can't see the other side of the horror that they're living in, the nightmare that they're in. And so I'm really appreciative of the fact that WCA is here for them, anywhere from providing means of communication to escape plans to those services once they leave. I'm very grateful for the WCA.
I'm Barb Jackson, and I work at University of Nebraska Medical Center at Monroe Meyer Institute, and I direct the Department of Education. I would say when I was a child and growing up, really my mother was a role model, and my grandmother. They both really valued education, so they really made me understand that education was important, but they also very much believed in giving to others. They were very strong in their day. They stayed at home with us as children, but they were both very strong in their volunteer work, and that's inspired me to continue not even just to volunteer, but also to make sure my profession is a profession where we're giving back. Technology kind of helped us because once people began to look at the brain, they could really see how our work with young children really made a difference in children's brains, and that made really early intervention more sexy. Because now everyone understood it. Synapses were improving, children's development was improving, and so our career path of why we were just not teachers any longer, but we were really someone helping to shape that little one's future. Well, I've been mentored many times in my life. I think the very first time was when I was in high school and I had a debate coach, Herb Shimmick, who really, I'd never done debate, and he really said, I think you can do it. So he gave me the confidence to become a public speaker, which really has helped me in my career down the road. And then every step of my career, I found another person who's been there to help support me, whether it's a supervisor who saw my potential and gave me opportunities, or whether it was a colleague who really was a wonderful partner and helped me become a better leader and worker in a particular field. As we all know, one of our biggest challenges is that balance of home life and work life, and so surrounding yourself with partners, whoever they might be, is really important, I think, for all of us, and particularly for women, as we continue to try to balance that home life with work life.
My name is Samantha Keeler-Overton. I am a teacher at Omaha South High School for Family Consumer Science. I teach foods and nutrition, and I teach a couple dual enrolled classes through UNO and through Metro. You think you have this whole life planned for you. You know, I'm going to do this at this age and this at this age, and chances are it's not going to work out that way. And if I could go back, know what I know now, I know that it's going to turn out for the better. The things that I thought I was going to do and accomplish can't even reach what I feel like I've done just with my job and the students that I have and the people that I've met. It's better than I thought it would be. I hope that the future is kinder. I hope that the future of education is more diverse. A lot of teachers do look like me, and a lot of my students don't. And so knowing that hopefully they'll be my future colleagues and the future of teaching workforce is just, I'm so excited to see what they have to bring to this profession, because they're amazing. For a young woman, the impact of just one great mentor can be life-changing. It's having that one person to look up to, that one person to reach out to, that one person to be able to count on. And knowing that if you are going through something difficult, if you are going through something that you're struggling with, that you have just that one person, at least that one person to support you and know that they've got your back.
I'm Carmen Tapio, and I'm President and CEO of North End Teleservices. I'm known these days from a community service standpoint for leading a lot of the efforts for diversity, equity, and inclusion in our community, in our business community in particular. I have experience professionally in helping organizations to create more diverse and inclusive cultures. I'm also very, very much an advocate for economic development. I believe that a rising tide lifts all boats, and one of the things that we need to consider in our city, I think in particular, is that we have communities that are still suffering double-digit unemployment, that are suffering the disparities that exist economically. And I am very much an advocate for and active in helping to develop our communities economically so that there's more equity. And it's better for not just those communities, we're a better city and we're a better state for it. If I were to talk to my 20-year-old self, I would tell her, you're going to be okay. That everything that you've been through, everything that you've experienced, it's going to make you stronger in the long run. And it's going to better enable you to help people as well, help other women, and to see their own worth as you see your worth today. I think now more than ever, with what we're going through, we need to show up as human beings for each other and recognize that in this environment today that so many people just don't know. They don't know what the future is going to hold. They don't know if they're going to get to go back to school. They don't know if they're going to get to play with their friends. And so I think we as women, have to look at our young women and take hold of them, not just as in a business environment or as teachers. We need to see our young women, our little girls, our teenagers for who they are, and that's human to human. I think when we can make that heart-to-heart, heartfelt contact and look at each other and say, I see you, and I recognize what you're going through, and I'm here for you. And then from there, you help them in whatever way you can, as a teacher, as a physician, as a coach, as a parent, as a neighbor, whatever the case might be. I think the way that we can help more young women more broadly and make a bigger impact is acknowledging people from our humanity.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our honorees. Honorees, as I say your name, we'll spotlight you on camera. Please feel free to wave or say a few words if you'd like. We begin with Sarah Boyd. Sarah is the Chief Executive Officer at VitaNix. VitaNix is the leading cloud-based digital video evidence management solution made to address the needs of child advocacy centers in the U.S. Trusted by more than 2,100 collaborating agencies across 49 states, VitaNix combines Sarah's passion for leading-edge technology to drive greater social impact. Prior to joining VitaNix, Sarah served as CEO for the Omaha Community Foundation, where she spent nearly 20 years of her career. During her tenure, Sarah and her team led growth to more than 1,800 fund holders and $1.2 billion in assets, investing more than $2 billion in the community. Sarah and her leadership team architected the creation of Omaha Gives, inspiring $50 million in giving to the community, launched the landscapeomaha.org with 38 community impact indicators, shifted programs to center on racial equity, seeded an impact investing program, and delivered programs serving to strengthen more than 1,200 nonprofits right here in our community. Sarah and her husband, Matt, are the proud parents of 3 children, Jacob, Isaiah, and Emily, as well as lovable mutts and Nebraska Humane Society alum, Cooper. Sarah recognizes the importance of funding for the general operations of the WCA. You can donate in honor of Sarah by using the link in the chats through the WCA website or the donate button on your Give Butter screen. Ladies and gentlemen, Sarah Boyd.
Thank you. I am so incredibly humbled to share the company of such inspiring, amazing women, not only this year, but all of the past honorees. I love you, Mom. None of this is something that anyone does alone. And so I really owe all of the credit to my partners in life, my support system, my family, the teams I've had the privilege of working with and continue to have the privilege of working with. And I think now more than ever, the support for services the WCA provides is critical. So I just want to express deep gratitude and heartfelt thanks to Caprice for sharing Kamisha's story with us today as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Our next honoree, Dr. Barbara Jackson. Dr. Jackson is currently the director of the Department of Education and professor at Monroe-Meyer Institute at UNMC. As director of the department, she has been responsible for mentoring staff, faculty, and students. She's worked in the field of early intervention for more than 40 years, specializing in supporting infants with disabilities and their families. Presently, she directs a statewide follow-up project for premature babies. This project began in 2000 and is a collaboration with 11 hospitals throughout Nebraska. She is also responsible for evaluating multiple community programs that help support young children and their families, including projects that focus on parent education, prevention, early childhood development, and home visitation. These evaluation studies provide data that's been used to improve practices so programs can make a difference in those they serve. Dr. Jackson is committed to giving back to the community and has served in leadership roles in her several volunteer organizations. Her family, friends, and colleagues are her strong support. Dr. Barb values the importance of education, donates in her honor to help support our prevention and education services, including our Girls Leadership Academy. Dr. Barb Jackson.
Thank you, Cerise. I also want to thank everyone for supporting me along the way of my career and path so that I was able to do some of the things that were described today. I also feel it's such a privilege to share this honor with all of the women that are here today. They're just really an inspiration. And most of all, I want to congratulate WCA on all the wonderful and hard work that they do every day. It makes a difference in everyone's lives. So thanks much.
Thank you. Our next honoree, Samantha Keeler Overton. Samantha is currently in her 10th year of teaching at Omaha South High School. She teaches a variety of education courses and is well known for her work in South's Educators Rising program. Educators Rising is a student-led organization for high school students interested in becoming future teachers. As the Educators Rising sponsor, Samantha has organized a number of charity events for the South Omaha community, including a safe trick-or-treating night called A Night on L Street for more than 1,000 families. She has facilitated collaborations with neighboring elementary schools, providing hands-on experience to her students in the Educators Rising program. Together, Samantha and her students have assisted with safe walks to school for elementary students, dressed up as characters and read to students during Read Across America Week, and mentored fourth graders on a retreat for anti-bullying. South High Educators Rising is consistently the largest single school education program in the state, enrolling a knowledgeable group of young people eager to diversify the profession of teaching. Samantha is excited to call these students her colleagues. Samantha has a heart for teaching. You can donate in honor of Samantha to continue helping fund our prevention and education services. Samantha Keeler Overton.
Thank you, Cerise, and thank you for to the WCA for this recognition. It's really just a privilege to be honored with such an inspirational group of women. I want to thank my friends, my family for their love and support, and to my South High family, thank you. I wouldn't be able to do this for our community without each and every one of you.
Samantha, thank you. Our next honoree, Victoria Mejias. Victoria is a graduate of the University of Nebraska Omaha and attended the University of Nebraska College of Law prior to making a leap into public service. She has nearly 20 years of experience in the private, public, legal, and nonprofit sectors. She's traveled to more than a dozen countries where she's bravely advocated for women's rights on a global level at the risk of imprisonment or death. Nationally, she's also advocated for the disabled. She currently serves on the board of directors for Heartland United for Puerto Rico and Holy Loved Ministries. Her past service includes a variety of other boards. Victoria received her certification in urban ministries from the Dallas Theological Seminary's Urban Ministry Institute in 2012. Victoria is a renowned writer and blogger. She's also spoken at a variety of venues on matters of leadership, diversity, spirituality, and faith. She is the recipient of 2 congressional awards for her service by Puerto Rican Congresswoman Jennifer Gonzalez Colon and Nebraska's Congressman Don Bacon during a floor speech at the U.S. House of Representatives, and was awarded Humanitarian of the Year by the state of Nebraska in 2019. Most importantly, Victoria is the proud mother of 2. By donating in honor of Victoria Mejias, you can help fund all of our domestic violence services. Ladies and gentlemen, Victoria Mejias.
Thank you, Cerise, and to the WCA, not just for this incredible award. It's an honor to be among those who have received it this year and in the past as well. And just most importantly, for the important work of the WCA. It's much needed and important work here in our community. And I won't be able to look at this award without thinking of the Kamishas and my very own grandmother, who was able to find the courage to leave a very, very violent situation. Without her, I wouldn't be here. I'll be donating today in her honor. I encourage you all not to be discouraged by this being a virtual event. The services of the WCA are just too important. And so please donate today. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next honoree, Carolina Padilla. Carolina is the founder and executive director of the Intercultural Senior Center, ISC, and provides leadership for the organization's growth, vision, and community services. Carolina immigrated to the United States from Guatemala in 1992 with her husband and 3 children. She held leadership positions and worked as the director of the Latino Resource Center, a program of Catholic Charities. She developed social service programs for younger adult women in areas of basic life skills leading toward employment. Carolina also provided services for women facing domestic violence. During this time, Carolina realized that another segment of the population, Latino elders, were underserved. This was the beginning of ISC. ISC first started services in South Omaha on March 19, 2009. In 2019, the center moved to its permanent location on Center Street. Carolina's passionate advocacy has created a greater awareness for services for the diverse aging population. ISC is Carolina's legacy to the city she now calls home. The center has been serving the aging population for more than a decade now and will continue to do so for generations to come. ISC is a testimony of the 3 most important philosophies Carolina holds so dear: diversity, inclusivity, and dignity. Carolina understands the importance of caring for all clients. To donate in honor of Carolina today, you will be helping fund all our client care services. Carolina Padilla.
Hello, everyone. It's an honor to be here, and I'm deeply appreciative for the opportunity to be around other group of amazing women. I'll say that for this community, I will continue my efforts to make Omaha a senior-friendly city. And I'm sure that with the support of everyone around me and others in the community, we will continue to provide advocacy and dignity to all seniors. Because as I always said, we all go in that direction. And so we need support and help, regardless of our color of skin and who we are. So thank you so much. And I deeply appreciate the WCA, and I am with you, and I believe in your vision and in your mission. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next honoree this afternoon, Jenny Schukert. Jenny was born and raised in Omaha and earned a Bachelor of Science in Design from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. She currently leads the business development strategy and marketing positioning for Olson's 200-person Omaha office. She has more than 12 years of experience in the AEC industry, all while fostering her passion for her community. Jenny has many achievements that have enabled her to shine as a role model, her example extending far beyond her immediate sphere of influence, including serving as the board president of Girls Inc. of Omaha, board president of Commercial Real Estate Women Crew, Omaha Metro, participating in ICANN's Defining Leadership for Women program, honored as one of Omaha's 40 under 40 in the Midlands Business Journal in 2017, and was part of Leadership Omaha Class 38. While she has held leadership roles in local community organizations and is an active member in many more, Jenny has an intentional focus toward the education and mentorship of area youth. That is evident in her role in bringing the Protege House to life, a sanctuary for at-risk young women to prepare for success after aging out of the system. Under Jenny's leadership with Girls Inc., the site committee was charged with assessing the viability and purchasing a convent from the Poor Clare Sisters to be transitional housing for the young women. The facility opened in April of 2019 and is the first of its kind amongst the National Girls Inc. network. It's easy to see Jenny loves the community and has in her hometown of Omaha. Donate in honor of Jenny to help with the general operations of the WCA to continue to help our community stay safe and grow strong. Jenny Schukert.
Thank you. From the time I was very young, the women in my life taught me how important it is to care about others and take care of them. And what started as a very small flame has grown into a full-blown bonfire when it comes to my passion for helping women and girls in our community. This recognition is extremely appreciated, and I accept it in honor of my grandma, my mom, Roberta Wilhelm, and all of the amazing women at Girls Inc., my best lady friends and crew, and my fellow honorees. I don't know why I'm crying. Thank you also to the WCA for the important services that you provide in our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next honoree this afternoon, Ashley Spivey. Ashley is a bold leader who actively works to create just and equitable communities. In her work as a community organizer, philanthropist, and activist, she champions racial and gender equity and hopes to create sustainable system change. She's a graduate of Jackson State University, where she studied communications and marketing, then attended the University of Texas Arlington for her master's program in urban social planning. She has spent the last decade of her professional career working in spaces from organizational development to philanthropy. Ashley is a founder of IB Black Girl, IBBG, a collective that supports Black women, femmes, and girls to grow, give, connect, and take action. IBBG has had outsized impact since its inception in 2017, like investing nearly $200,000 in Black women, femmes, and girls. In 2019, Ashley was chosen as an ABFE Connecting Leaders Fellow and as one of 10 philanthropic professionals nationally selected for this opportunity. She is inaugural 2020 Black Futures Lab Policy Fellow and proudly serves on the ACLU of Nebraska Board of Directors. Ashley is a leader and supporter for those in our community. Donations made in Ashley's name will help support all the WCA's victim services. You can donate in honor of Ashley by using the links in the chat through the WCA website and through the donate button on the Give Butter screen. Ashley Spivey.
Thank you so much. I just want to thank the WCA for this honor, especially being able to share the space and memory of life of Kamisha Hollis. That's really humbling and important in this time, especially now. I want to thank and just appreciate the IB Black Girl Advisory Committee. They are brilliant Black women who are bold and change makers and keep my stuff together. And without them, IB Black Girl wouldn't be what it is. So I thank them for being a part with me in this journey. I want to thank my village, my people. They all on Facebook sending me screenshots. I love y'all. I thank y'all for always keeping me in check, pushing me, and just being supportive. Seeing y'all growth and what y'all do in community also inspires me to do this work with Ivy Black Girl. And then lastly, I would like to accept this honor on behalf of all Black women, femmes, and girls everywhere. I stand on y'all's shoulders, from our ancestors that are not here to the Black women Black women, femmes, and girls that are. This award is for us. And in honor of my mom, who made her final ascension 9 years ago. Without her and the seeds that she planted, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. So thank you again. Okay, now you can say hi. Hi.
Hi, Ashley, thank you. Now to our next honoree, Carmen Tapio. Carmen's current role as founder and CEO of North End Teleservices, LLC, is the culmination of her passion for business and community by creating jobs and changing lives in Northeast Omaha. North End Teleservices takes a holistic view of everyone they employ, not only by helping them to create a vision for their lives and what is possible, but also helping them to achieve it. Her leadership approach has translated into numerous accolades, including Small Business of the Month, Business Excellence Small Business of the Year, and Business Excellence and Innovation by the Greater Omaha Chamber of Commerce, Best Corporate Culture by the Urban League of Nebraska Young Professionals, and the 2020 Urban League African American Leadership Award for Business. In 2020, North End was named number 677 on the Inc.'s 5,000s list of fastest growing privately owned companies. It is currently the largest African American woman-owned business in the entire state of Nebraska. She currently sits on the board of directors for the Chamber, Lending Link, Spark, and Bridge Network. Carmen is also council chair of the Chamber's Diversity and Inclusion Advisory Council, called CODE, and the Diversity Subcommittee for their Thrive initiative. In addition, Carmen is council chair of the Leadership, Diversity, and Inclusion Council for Blueprint Nebraska, a member of the Nebraska Department of Economic Development's Get Nebraska Growing Task Force, a trustee for the Business Ethics Alliance, and joins the Warner Enterprises Board this November. Your donations in honor of Carmen will help our prevention and education services. Ladies and gentlemen, Carmen Tapio.
Thank you so much. It's just an incredible honor to receive this recognition today. And I want to thank the WCA, first of all, for the work that you all do to help women find their voice and their place, their power, and quite frankly, saving the lives of many women that unfortunately we see that come through our doors that are in situations of trauma and that need help. And so, you know, we at North End Teleservices have a firsthand experience and relationship with the impact that, thank goodness, WCA is able to make on the lives of so many women. So thank you for the incredible work that you do and the way in which that you do it. I would also like to just say congratulations and how humbled and honored I am to share this day with the other honorees. I know that the work that you all do is not something that you do from 8 to 5, that it's something that you live and breathe. And so I'm just so grateful for all of the effort and the impact that you do with your work and the impact that you make in the community. I want to thank my family and my friends and my North End Teleservices family as well for all of their support and their encouragement, but also the friendships and just all the other folks that are working to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion in our community. We will get there. We will continue this work together. So It's just a huge honor. I'm humbled and just so appreciative to share this with all the other honorees today. So thank you very much.
Carmen, thank you. Now to our final honoree, Carolyn C.T. Williamson. A native and lifelong resident of Omaha, Carolyn's love for her community shines through in her work. Carolyn's entire professional and volunteer career has been one of service to others. Growing up in a community that loved and nurtured her, planted the seeds for the strong, caring, and compassionate woman the Omaha community loves and trusts. Her decades of service allowed her to enhance her professional development while enhancing the lives of others. At Omaha Housing Authority, she established relationships and trust with residents, which allowed her to connect them with local churches, agencies, community groups, employment opportunities, and a variety of services, activities, and life-changing experiences for many. Carolyn then transitioned to Girls Inc. of Omaha, where she has spent the last 25 years encouraging girls to be strong, smart, and bold. As director of operations, she created an environment that allowed the center girls and staff to grow. She managed 2 major renovations without having to close the center or discontinue services to girls. She currently serves as the Director of Transitional Housing and Health Access. She has expanded the health knowledge of girls and young women across the city and assists young women ages 19 to 24 with getting on the path to independence and self-reliance through Protege House program. Carolyn also has a lifelong time of service to various community groups, including her church, Bethel AME. Carolyn is a treasure to the Omaha area. She loves and cares for people at all levels. Her dedication and commitment are evident in her work and the people of all ages who lovingly call her Miss CT. Amongst other things, Carolyn counts the role of wife, sister, mother, grandmother, aunt, and friends as being her greatest joys. Donate in honor of Miss CT today to continue funding the vital services of the WCA, including the Girls Leadership Academy and Prevention and Education Services.
Is that it?
Carolyn C.T. Williamson.
Oh, can I wave? Okay. Hi, everyone. I first would like to say thank you so very much to the WCA. If I wasn't at Girls Inc., this certainly would be the place for me to work because you do everything that I wholeheartedly believe in. I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to Roberta. You allow me to go around and get loose in the community and do all sorts of things, knowing that I bring back many partnerships from all of the boards and things that I participate in. I thank you for the freedom of being able to do that and to be able to speak up when I feel the need to do so. And I also would like to say to my team that I work with, you guys are amazing, which helps makes me amazing. And you know I love you. And to my best friend, my loving husband, thank you for putting up with me, for just at the drop of a hat saying, I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go do this and I gotta go do that. And thank you, Mister, for those this and that's.
Thank you so much, Ms. CT. What an honor it has been for me to be among this beautiful and amazing group of women. It's been wonderful to be your MC this afternoon, ladies. Your accomplishment and dedication serve as an inspiration to all of us. You have each changed the face of your community in your own way, and you will leave a legacy that will live on and benefit others. So congratulations again to the 2020 Tribute to Women honorees.
So ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining us today to honor these phenomenal women and for supporting the WCA in our mission to help individuals and their families Stay safe and grow strong. Don't forget that you can text to donate, scan to donate, or visit our website at wcaomaha.org. This concludes our 33rd annual Tribute to Women event, our first virtual event. I'd like to extend a special thank you to members of our team who went above and beyond to make this event a success. So thank you, Jory, AJ, and Mary Beth for all of your hard work. I'd also like to extend a special thank you to Caprice and the Hollis family for sharing Kamisha's story. It's very important that we keep that story alive until we get justice. And I'd also like to thank the WCA staff that make this all worth it. They do hard work every day. I appreciate you. And congratulations to the honorees. You are all phenomenal women. And thank you so much for everyone being here today. Thank you.